Welcome to my channel. It is common for divorce attorneys to see similar patterns in their cases, such as poor communication, bickering that goes on for too long, and one party fleeing or cheating rather than trying to work things out. While no one can predict the future, you can set yourself up for success starting right now. Here's the relationship advice you need to put yourself on the path to happily ever after. Number 1. Put your focus on what you want from your marriage. There will be issues, as well as happy and unhappy times, in your future. On the other hand, keeping your eyes on the goal will enable you to surf the wave expertly. Approach conflicts with love rather than, "I hate your guts," even though you might at that moment. Discuss your vulnerabilities and ways to reduce them, the reasons you chose to marry this person, the things you enjoy about them, and keep your attention on the good things, advises Ziegler. Continue to be the best possible version of yourself, not only for your spouse but also for yourself. Take time now and during your marriage to ask yourself, am I trusting you? Am I expressing gratitude? Am I displaying emotion? Am I acknowledging you? You may be able to prolong your marriage. Number 2. Develop your listening skills. In the thick of an all-out shouting match, it is so easy to get caught up in the momentum of winning that you cannot hear what the other person is saying. Ziegler suggests, sometimes you must take a step back and listen without emotion, and you must regurgitate what someone just said to you in order to absorb it. When you start talking about other things and trying to injure someone because your ego is being attacked, things cease to function. People must pay great attention to the words they utter, and when they do, they speak from a position of love rather than one of hurt. When your marriage is robust, do not add a laundry list of irrelevant concerns, such as the time they stayed out too late last month or bad-mouth your brother if you are arguing with them over not doing their fair share of the chores. In addition, the manner in which you construct your argument can quickly alter its tone and help you to a conclusion. Consider the distinction between, "I despise it when you leave your dirty dishes in the sink," and "I enjoy coming home to a clean kitchen." See, number 3. Get in touch with your parents. If you have never been married, your only direct experience with marriage is that of your parents. Others have a nasty divorce and custody arrangement, but the parents of other people resemble sitcom couples. The accomplishments of your parents should motivate you to follow in their footsteps. To avoid repeating past errors, it is essential to draw lessons from them. According to Ziegler, when something goes wrong in your marriage, you should take these lessons from your life up to this point and figure out how you may apply them to obstacles that arise. Number 4. Understand your past. You've undoubtedly had a few, "what the hell was I thinking?" relationships, whether you want to admit it or not. Come along, we've all been there. However, there is an advantage to dating Mr. or Mrs. False. It enabled you to recognize Mr. or Mrs. by weighing the pros and cons. You can avoid repeating your traumatic mistakes and refrain from blaming your significant other for your previous problems with Mr. or Ms. who constantly stood you up when they may have simply forgotten about your dinner reservations this time. Number 5. Understand what your deal breakers are. You should love your partner unconditionally, but you should also love yourself enough to stay out of unhealthy relationships. Ziegler counsels, when dating, keep your eyes wide open; when married, close one eye. Ziegler says that because people are revealing their identities to you, you can decide whether or not to pay attention and whether or not to spot the warning signs. While it goes without saying that being physically abused is abhorrent, What about being yelled at or made to feel incompetent? What about lying? Or if your partner has ever struggled with alcohol or drug abuse? When dating, avoid letting love make you so blind that you continue in a poisonous relationship in the hopes that the other person may one day change. Once you're married, don't, however, constantly scrutinize your spouse for flaws to the point of picking them apart. You must be clear about what you will not tolerate, she advises. Be truthful and mindful of the deal breakers. Number 6. Make sure you are honest about your finances. According to Ziegler, everyone has a different connection with money. It's fine if you're a saver and they're a spender or vice versa, but you and your partner need to agree on how you will manage your finances together, who will create the family budget, and what that budget will look like, otherwise you'll have to go to court to divide your assets. Marriage is a long-term commitment, so make a game plan that will get you through children, your first home, and all the expensive hiccups on the road you haven't even thought of yet. Wedding planning and budgeting are wonderful to practice run in this regard. You should also be honest about any debts you may have. Adults under 30 who have school loan debt are 1/3 of all adults. These expenses will most likely surface when you go to borrow money to buy a house or will have an influence on your retirement plans because it may take some people until their 40s to pay it off. You don't want to do that years later and catch someone off guard. Number 7. Your partner deserves to be respected unconditionally. As soon as you cross the line of disrespect, Ziegler believes we have a serious problem, adds Ziegler. You will not always agree with your partner, but if you do not fight fairly, you are setting a negative precedent for your relationship. Your partner's feelings are still their emotions. Listen to your partner, attempt to understand where they're coming from, and convey your perspective without insults or eye-rolling. At this point, you might as well end the relationship. Finding the ideal partner is a long process that has no shortcuts. If you want to find true love, you must go deep and confront your issues. Thank you for watching.